All right, looks like we are live. Get y'all all set up. How we doing? Matter of fact, I'm gonna see if you guys can even hear and see me okay. Put your city and state that you're tuning in from. Put your city and state that you're tuning in from. Let me see here. Put your city and state that you're tuning in from. Let me know. That'll let me know if you guys can hear and see me okay before we get started. And I know some people are coming in a little bit late, but you definitely want to be on time for my webinars. I mean, I have been a couple minutes late, so we're not going to push it. Okay, you guys, woo, y'all up in here. Welcome. Let me make sure you guys can see my slides and all that good stuff. It's a lot easier. And just per usual, guys, I'm going to talk fast. I am going to talk fast. So make sure you dialed in, because when we do the bonuses at the end, we do the Q&A at the end, I don't typically answer questions I've already answered. But let's go ahead and get this thing started. See, I got my slides here. First off, thank you guys for even joining. I know it's a weekday, it's Tuesday. It is 6:03 p.m. currently. Y'all done had a long day. You know, some of y'all got a cold front coming through the New Year. Some of y'all still hungover from the New Year. Man, thank you for being here. Thank you for being here. And congratulations to you for choosing you. A lot of people already forgot their New Year's resolutions. I'm all about it. In fact, I'm about a new life resolution. Like, I don't play no games. But I commend those of you who are like-minded. Now, today, we're going to talk about how to steer clear of commitment phobe men. And I do use the word men very loosely, because if he's not ready to make a commitment, I have questions about how evolved, how mature he is for any area of his life. But this pertains to you, because you need to stop wasting time on men who want to waste your heart. Before we really get into it, put I down in the chat if you've ever had what I call lover's remorse. Yeah, you chose the man. Yeah, you understand you win some, you lose some. But after the relationship, you had nothing to really show for it. And you regret. You have remorse for even letting that man in. You have remorse for letting him into your body, for letting him into your family, for letting him in, to know your friend circle, claiming him, being proud of him. Like, it's just like buyer's remorse. Like, you do it. Yeah, you knew what you were doing at the time that you did it. But with the result, you just instantly regret that you even gave this man the time of day. Not because you're just hurt. It's just like, I could have been spending that time any other way. Somebody could waste your money. You can get that back. But wasting your time? That's a different type. Okay. I'm in the right place. Well, this is for you. And this is also for you if you're tired of giving chances that lead nowhere. If that's you, you're in the right place. This is not a coincidence that you even saw the link to get here, that you registered and that you showed up. You're in the right place. This is also for you if you're confused when actions don't match words. And it just don't make sense why a grown man in his 20s, 30s, 40s, or 50s, or even older, took time out of his day, stopped what he was doing to waste your time. If he wanted to lie and everything else, he could have just honestly not even made promises. He even presented himself as somebody who was interested in what you were, if all he was going to do was lie anyway. So it's confusing. If that's you, you're in the right place. You're also in the right place if you're done with those almost relationships. I'm not talking about those where from the very beginning you knew it wasn't going to be anything serious. I'm talking about when y'all got close to the finish line, your feelings is invested, y'all talking about how you feel about each other, and then boom, here comes withdrawal. Here comes sabotage. Here comes all of these different issues. Here comes him and his mental health. He needs time to work on himself. This is for you, because I'm telling you right now, commitment phobes, they love pulling that one. They love pulling that one. This is also for you. Deep down, you know you deserve more. And that sounds like it should be an obvious one, but honestly, some people, they ain't got to that point where they feel like I deserve more. But if that's you, if you're at this point where it's like, no, I know I can do better than this. I may have my flaws. I may have my hangups. I may be this age. I may be this size. But I know I can do better than this. Then this is for you. And this is for you. And this is extremely important If you are ready to take action, you see on my social media, I do a lot of teaching. I make sure that people get the epiphanies that they need, the light bulbs go off, but it's a complete difference between you having the knowledge and you having the applied wisdom. And everybody ain't there where they're ready to take action. Sometimes you just want to know things and figure things out and just feel better that you know what you're getting yourself into. But if you're at that point where you're ready to get out of it and you're tired of going into it to begin with, this is for you. Now, on the flip side, because I don't want to waste nobody's time, this is not for you if you're more afraid of being alone than being disrespected and used. If you're so afraid of being alone, it may be finances, it may be a mental or emotional state, it may be a million different things. Maybe you're just insecure, maybe you just need somebody close, because whatever, and you feel like somebody is better than nobody, then this ain't for you. Because I'm gonna just tell you right now, I don't know if you agree, but I believe, and I've come to understand, that being in bed alone is much better than being laid up with the wrong spirit. Now, again, I can't make you feel that way, so I just want you to know that this is not going to do you any good. If you disagree with that, if you just feel like I just don't want to be alone, I just need somebody to say I got somebody, then And this also ain't for you if you're not in a place where something must change. Trying to get something different out of the exact same course of action, exact same mentality. It's just not the move anymore. Something must change. If you're not there, this ain't going to really do you no good, sis. This is also not for you if you feel like there's a way to change a man who's repeatedly played in your face, meaning he's shown you time after time, and after time again, this is his pattern, this is his character, this is what he believes in. And he ain't going to do no different. If you think you can override that, this ain't for you. I always say this, but God is almighty, all powerful. I'm not trying to tell you what to believe. I just know this to be true. Even God will not override your free will. He makes you choose him. He will not do it for you. And so if God won't make a man choose him, how do you think you're going to make a man do anything? You ain't God. None of us are. But if you disagree with that, this is the wrong masterclass. All right. Also, this ain't for you if you're not willing to do anything different, if it feels scary or uncomfortable. I just want to keep it all the way real with y'all. I'm going to say some things tonight that's going to make complete sense to everybody here. But there is a chance I'm going to say something that's going to scare you, make you uncomfortable, have you thinking like, well, I don't know, I've never done that. And that's on purpose. Because many of you, not all, many of you have never been properly loved. Many of you have never had a man provide for you outside of just his finances, if he's even done that. Many of you have never had a man commit his entire life to you. As he submits to God and his purpose, commit his life to you because you're inextricably linked to how far he can go in his purpose and executing God's will. You've never experienced that. So there's something unfamiliar about what you're wanting. Therefore, there's going to be something unfamiliar required of you in order to materialize that. Now, if you're still with me, today you're going to learn a few things, but first off, how to spot a commitment phobe. You can't hit a target that you can't see. You can't avoid something you don't see coming. You got to know how to spot a commitment phobe. So I'm going to make that crystal clear by the time you leave here. Also, I'm going to teach you the 4 types of time wasters, okay? Because that's ultimately what commitment phobes come to do. They come to waste your time and they come to waste your heart. But there are 4 types in particular. Also, I'm going to tell you how to prevent the false hope cycle. If you're already in that cycle, how to get out. If you haven't gone into it yet, how to avoid it at all costs is very important. And also, we're going to talk about the 3 mindset shifts you need to take off your rose-colored glasses. I know most of y'all, you're growth-oriented, you're smart, you're intelligent, all that kind of stuff. But if you're an empath, or if when you love hard, or if you have a good heart and therefore you project that onto others and giving them the benefit of the doubt, that can easily turn into rose-colored glasses. That's why a lot of people wonder, how did I miss this red flag? How did I miss that one? A lot of times you just had on your rose-colored glasses. I'm going to teach you how to shift out of that mindset so you never have those on again, where you look after the relationship and say, what was I thinking? And lastly, if this is important to you, I'm going to make sure you understand how to attract men who know you're the one the moment they meet you. Y'all have heard those stories of men say, I knew the moment that I laid eyes on her. From the very first conversation, it didn't take long. Maybe not the literal moment, but definitely that first day, that first time y'all even had a real conversation. I'm going to teach you how to attract those men who know you're the one. Yes, they do exist. Please do not let these bums who are uncertain about their life and their purpose and what they want, or these manipulators who want to trick you out of what you want, tell you any different, convince you any different. There are men out here who know exactly what they want when they see it. Matter of fact, I'm going to say this to you. Most of us do, especially the masculine men. Think about how men shop. Men don't shop by going up and down every aisle, trying everything out. How do men shop? Ladies, y'all know. They go right in. A masculine man has something on his mind. He's going to go in, he's going to go get it, and he's going to come out. Men actually don't like to waste time. Please don't believe the nonsense that men need all of this time to know if you're the one. They don't. More masculine men. And I'm going to teach you how to attract those men. Now, with that being said, type ready if you're ready to begin. Type ready down in the chat if you're ready to begin. Damaris says, yes, we do. They do exist. Absolutely. Type ready, though. I want to know. Y'all in position? Now, with that, I want to also make sure I give you some house rules, but really, there's a way to come away from this with absolutely nothing. I've seen it happen, unfortunately. I mean, I can give you the best masterclass in the world, but you got to do your part in order to actually receive something. So a few things. First thing is, y'all, please turn off all distractions. Matter of fact, my do not disturb is on, so only emergency contacts can contact me. Please make sure that you tune out all distractions. A lot of times you get so used to being everything for everybody else, and you never carve out time just for you, whether it's to learn, whether it's to decompress or whatever. So let this be the first thing that you do as a commitment to your best self and making that your new norm. Carve out this next hour, maybe hour and a half, to strictly be for you. The emails can wait. The social media and everything else can wait. If you do that, I promise you I'm going to give you my absolute best. Next thing also, take notes. Please don't take for granted the power of taking notes. What we comprehend, what we retain when we hear it, goes from 25% when we don't take notes to 65% whenever we do. It's going to be fresh on your mind, but then afterwards, I get this all the time. Email at the email. D, where are the slides? No, I'm not sending the slides out. Take notes, because I'm going to say a lot of stuff that's not even on the slides, okay? Take notes, and also watch through to the end. This thing is going to get better and better, and especially when we get over to the false hope cycle and the mindset shifts at the end, but I'm going to also do a Q&A at the end. I'm going to take questions live, and you're probably going to have some. Okay, and I'm also going to give out free bonuses at the end, only for those who stay through to the end. So watch all the way through to the end. Do not miss anything. I've seen enough readies. Let's go ahead and get into it. So first off, for those who don't know, most of y'all do, or at least you're familiar with me. My name is Derek Jackson. My mama named me Derek Jackson. It's not spelled how it's spelled on social media. Speaking of my mama, she was a single mom. I grew up in a house of 5 to a single mother, and literally, I'm not even gonna say one of. This is the strongest person I've ever met in my life. And I've met some powerful people in high positions, strong people physically. This woman overcame things that her peers didn't, not without rehab, not without professional help, not before they ended up in prison or jail. And a lot of them just it didn't overcome anything. A lot of the people she grew up with are no longer here, and not because of old age or anything like that. But I grew up seeing a real life where I feel like is a superhero who was my role model, along with coaches and male figures, because I didn't have my father around. And one thing she used to always tell me, and this is why I have the tenacity I have now, and I've become an entrepreneur and all these different things. She used to tell me, my name was Bud whenever I was little. I had a childhood nickname Bud because I looked like Bud out the Cosby Show. She used to say, Bud, you can mess up however many times you need to, but don't you ever settle. You mess up however many times you need to. You start over however many times you need to, but don't you settle. She told me that because I wanted to quit every sport she signed me up for. So maybe she said that because it was a lot of money and she wasn't going to keep wasting her money. Or maybe she said that because that's what she did in order to overcome so many obstacles, so many things, to raise 5 children on her own, to get talked about because we ain't had the same daddy and we aren't in the South, and she trying to bring us to church and get a godly foundation. But church folk can be some of the most mean folks, most judgmental folk, and she never settled. Even as a single mother, even as somebody with a quote unquote limited education, just her GED, she never settled. So as I grew up, I made that my core message. People always ask me, D, how did you get started on this? I'm like, literally, I'm telling y'all what I was raised on. Don't settle. That's all I did. All I did was speak on subjects that matter to me, primarily with love and connection, relationships. And I told the world, don't settle. And you know what? A lot of people got pissed off because a lot of guys benefit from you settling. Now, despite that, and despite what they may say about me, folks feel however they want to feel about me, but I've never had anybody point out a lie in what I said. And that's why I've self-published 12 books to date, almost 500,000 sold. That's why I have over 1 billion views on all social media platforms. That's why I've spoken all over the country and a few times outside the country, but none of that really means anything to me. The thing that means the most to me is when somebody who's willing to put in the work just needed that little helping hand, that little guidance, that little voice when they didn't have their own, that little bit of strength when they couldn't find their own. That's all they needed in order to shift their life. Everything I do is qualified by those of y'all who are willing to actually choose you. All I'm saying is choose you and don't settle for less than what you know that you deserve. And that's what I stand on. You ask me who I am, I'm going to tell you what I stand on. It's that no matter what you've done in the past, who you chosen that was wrong, who took you for granted and you went back to them, who you procreated with, or how many times I don't care how old you are, you can start over as many times as you need to. But to everybody here, don't you dare settle. You don't get to do that. Now, one thing I see a lot of y'all settling for, knowingly or unknowingly, are time wasters. People that, and the reason why time wasters, for me, I have a special place of disgust in my heart for time wasters. And they really piss me off because they're never wasting the time of women who are playing games. Y'all ever notice that? Time wasters, it's like the women who just want a man for his money, women who are out here playing the game even harder than men, because let's keep it all the way real. Not all women are wearing their crown and operating as queens. Some women out here shysty, going after other women's men, will snake their homegirl. Let's keep it all the way real. And what I've noticed is that those women ain't getting their time wasted. Who's getting their time wasted? Lover girls. Women who want something real. Now, why is that? Because we got to understand the framework before you can get into any strategies and tactics. It's because as a lover girl, as somebody who wants something real, your effort is going to be all in, and you're going to allow time for things to unfold. You don't come in saying, pay all my bills and take me on trips and give me everything. And you don't come in like that. You come in saying, hey, let's grow this thing together. Let's cultivate something powerful together. And when you don't do it right the first time, I'm going to have grace with you and I'm going to take my time with you because I want you to do that with me. And guess what? Those are the very women that get their time wasted. Nobody gets treated worse than loyal women. And there are good men out here who can't even find a loyal woman, just for those of y'all who are in that category to be getting your time wasted by somebody who's a commitment phobe. Now, type yes if you agree with any of these statements. Type yes if you agree that there's a difference between a man who is healing and a man who is just using you as his therapy. Type yes if you agree with that. Because I want to understand, I want to know if you guys understand some of these basics. There's a difference between a man who's truly healing and a man who's trying to use you as his therapist. Trauma dumping on you, blaming you whenever he's triggered, expecting you to overcompensate for the work he has not put in before he got in a relationship, versus a man who's actually doing the work on himself. Okay, I see the yeses. Type yes if you agree. Type yes if you agree that there's a difference between a man who's taking things slow and a man who's keeping his options open. These are the little blurred lines that get a lot of women caught up. A man is taking things slow. It sounds good, right? And it is good. If he's being patient, but the thing about a man who's being patient, he's also going to be intentional. However, the man who's just keeping his options open, he's going to leverage your desire for a man who's willing to be patient just to keep his options open while he continues to reel you in deeper and deeper and deeper emotionally, making you feel like y'all are getting to know each other. Y'all are getting so close. Meanwhile, he's just getting more power over you while keeping himself spread thin amongst many of you. One building the foundation, the other is just building his roster. Type yes if you agree that there's a difference between a man who's genuinely busy. He has a lot on his schedule. He does a lot. He's very productive. And a man who's just too busy for you. Because I'm going to tell you right now, the man who is truly busy, he has businesses, he has jobs, he may have children, he has obligations, he has whatever. He's going to make time despite his schedule. The other man, he's going to make excuses. If LeBron James, the most successful basketball player in the world, if Barack Obama, former president, can run a whole country and make time for their wives, there's no reason that man that you're dealing with can't make time for you. Make time. Very important to understand. Not spare time. Make time means he's going to set aside, he's going to protect, he's going to carve out, just like you're doing right now. He's going to give you undivided attention. He's looking at you right in your face. He's not watching the game behind you on the TV while y'all at the restaurant. He's not looking at his phone the whole time. I'm not saying if you're up under a man 24/7 and he needs to give you undivided the entire time. I'm saying whenever it's date night, whenever it's a real talk happening, if that man is not willing to give you any of his undivided attention, he is not giving you he's not giving you real made time. He's giving you spare time. And the man that's just keeping this, hey man, I'm just busy. I got so much going on. And those be the ones that least productive. Ain't that something? Also, type yes if you agree that there's a difference between a man who is cautious about commitment and a man who is literally allergic to it. Cautious. I'm going to take caution. I want to be careful. I want to be careful. I want to be safe. But this is my priority. That's a man who is just simply cautious. Man who is allergic to it, he going to move in circles indefinitely. You're going to constantly feel like you're taking 2 steps forward, 2 steps back, 2 steps forward, 2 steps back. Now, speaking of the healing man, understand there's a difference between the time waster who's just going to use you and a man who is in progress. He has stuff going on. He's going through things, but guess what? He met you, an amazing woman. Timing may not be on his side to wait for him to become this perfect version of himself. But he's doing the work. That's a healing man. He's going to let you know, hey, I'm in therapy right now. I'm working through my trust issues, but I want you to know where I'm at so you can have the ability to choose if that works for you with where you're at. The man who is healing is going to be aware of when, what triggers him. He's going to have that self-awareness. He's going to have convictions that keep him from making it your responsibility to fix him. He's going to understand whenever he withdraws that that's not healthy and that's not fair. So he's going to be accountable if he's still doing that. Yeah, he done been through some things. He had failed relationships just like everybody else. But as an adult, he understands that his wounds don't give him a right to bleed on you. That's a man who is healing. Okay, so this is where we understand. This is where we discern between the time waster of a man who is using you versus the man who is legitimately healing. Because the time waster is only able to succeed when he's able to convince you he's the other alternative, the person that's on the other side of that quote unquote blurred line, that thin line, should I say. The user man is going to tell you, I can open up to you, but only when I want something. Not going to say it verbatim. Either he says that or he's using you as an emotional plan B. What do I mean by emotional plan B? That means he has no desire to make you his partner. He has no desire to make you his one and only. He can't even operate from that place. He's operating from survival mode. So all he's using you to do is to fill that void so he can trauma dump on you. Some of y'all are so nurturing, so caring, so safe space creating. You don't realize when a man is just using you as that space where he's able to push all of this trauma out and avoid going to actual therapy to really do the work, because the work is hard. What I'm going to ask y'all to do is kind of tough, and recognize this right here, just sitting down, this is hard for a lot of people, but this is a part of truly healing. But those men who need healing and instead go and find a relationship, they just want somewhere to offload all of their negative thoughts, all of their victim mentality. And they don't have any desire or true intention on building something because they're not even operating from love to begin with. Oh, okay. So y'all are familiar, I see. Yeah, the emotional plan B. That man goes to you and lets you see all of the wounds in him, but he doesn't have an intention to actually heal those wounds. He just needs a place to exhale. Then he goes back out to somebody else and pretends that he's healed, and both of y'all are getting the losing end. But that's not the only time waster. There's another time waster who loves to stall, okay? Loves to stall. And he likes to cosplay as a man who is just intentional. The intentional man will let you know, hey, I want to get physical with you, but first, I really want to get to know you. One misconception I've noticed amongst women is that if a man is truly serious about you, he ain't going to want to have sex. No, that's not true at all. Any man that likes you, any man that approaches you wants to have sex with you. Let's just go ahead and get that out there. We all grown. It's nighttime. Put the kids to bed. That man wants to have sex with you. However, the man who is intentional will discipline his flesh to make sure his heart can be safe with you. It ain't just about making sure you know that you're safe with him. He's going to make sure his heart is safe with you as well. And so what he's going to want to do, because his intentions are long-term, are, hey, let me make sure this is safe ground. An intentional man understands that any relationship is really a friendship with a little sprinkle of romance added onto it. You take 24 hours. Y'all can do the math, fact check me on this. You take 24 hours, right, of being in a relationship every single day. You take 1 hour out of that 24 and just have wild sex every single day. 1 hour out of 24. And let's get real, most of y'all ain't getting that from your man. And you still got 96% of relationship to account for. The intentional man understands 96% of the time, I'm not going to be able to use any of this sexual desire for you. 96% of the time, we're going to have to actually be friends. We're going to actually have to be able to hold a conversation. I'm going to have to actually find you interesting and you find me interesting. 96% of the time, we're going to be on road trips, cuddling, just sharing space in silence or whatever. We're going to be working together. That's 96%. The intentional man is looking to make sure that's solid, because the 4%, he's going to go crazy. Okay? He going to do his thing, especially since he's disciplined his flesh. But the man who's just stalling, it's going to be real convenient how the stalling man is going to know exactly what he wants physically. But when it comes to everything else, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, he just got all of these variables he's not sure about, and he'll get there one day. But right now, that's a man who's stalling. Very convenient. You know exactly what you want sexually. You don't have anything hindering you from moving forward in a sexual manner. But when it comes to emotional foundation building, when it comes to listening to me, when it comes to sharing and expressing curiosity about what's on my mind, all of a sudden now you just got to shut down and you just can't go there because your heart isn't ready. And you know, your daddy left you when you was 3, and that man is stalling. When he starts finding, let me tell you something, a man will move mountains for the woman that he wants, but he won't even kick over a molehill for the woman that he's playing with. The men have achieved incredible feats for a woman that they want and that they want a future with. I'm talking about men that have climbed Mount Everest, missing a limb. Men have done some incredible, extraordinary things. Please don't accept any excuses from a man who's saying that he can't because of this and because of that. I digress. Another man who's going to waste your time is a man who's emotionally unavailable, again, for you. And he's going to pretend that he's just busy. But the truly busy man is going to let you know, hey, I do have to work. I got things to do. I got stuff planned. I'm booked a month in advance, 2 months in advance. I'm on the road. I'm in the air. I'm traveling. I'm handling business. I'm trying to make a thing come true here. This dream of mine, I'm trying to materialize it. But hey, look, I will move some things around. And I'm going to do it on this day at this time. So you can expect that. Why? Because if he's even pursuing you for a real relationship, he's going to have that as a priority. There's nothing you can have as a priority and not nurture it with what it requires to even stand a chance. If you got a plant and you don't water it, it don't really matter how busy you are. You shouldn't have gotten the plant if you weren't going to have it enough of a priority to give the plant what it needs to live and thrive, right? A truly busy man who also is interested in what you're interested in is going to understand this dating phase, this relationship requires me to nurture it. It needs time. It needs sunlight. It needs things. So even if I'm busy, I'm not going to play around with this. No, I will make time. I will move things around. I will sacrifice because this is a priority to me. And if he's really smart, he understands how that inextricably links to him and his upward potential in life. Because a properly loved woman becomes 10 times the woman that she was before. And that woman will maximize everything around her. A man who is really about his business is going to understand the asset that a good woman is whenever she's properly poured into. But then you got the unavailable man, the time-wasting, unavailable man. You know what the unavailable man does? He pops up after days, maybe even weeks of ghosting, intermittent ghosting. Put I down in the chat if you've ever had a man like to go 2-3 days, a week, 2 weeks, no contact, no conversation, no replies, but then he pop up like everything cool. Man, I've been busy. Man, I've been crazy busy. How you though? Little one-liner to say that he's been busy, and then quickly shift the energy to how you been though? How you been? Yeah, I've been busy, man. There's just been so much going on. How you been? So y'all know what I'm talking about. That man is simply emotionally unavailable to you. He's intentionally keeping himself at arm's length so that he doesn't get too invested or you don't get too invested, but maybe he can still get what he wants if your self-esteem is low enough to tolerate it. The only reason why I make it about self-esteem now is because there's no more ignorance after you leave this masterclass. Now you're going to know exactly what it is whenever you run into it. And then we have the avoidant. Okay? The avoidant. These are all types of commitment phobes, by the way. Now, the avoidant is going to come off initially as a man who's just simply cautious. But a cautious man who is just cautious but committed, cautious but ready for commitment. The cautious man is going to let you know my full focus is on us. So let's be clear about what we both want in our future. Let's talk about it. Let's have the conversations. Let's make tangible progress toward that. But my full focus is on us. That's a man who is being cautious that says, let's not skip any steps in this. The avoidant man is going to look for any way whatsoever to avoid structure, to avoid accountability, to avoid labels. He's going to look to avoid it like the plague. Do we need to define this with a label? What's wrong with how things are? I thought things was just fine. You know why? Because things was just fine for him with you not knowing where y'all are headed. Things was just fine for him with you not being able to say, who is that girl that you texted? Who is this girl that you hanging out with? Why are you not hitting me back after I hit you up and it's 6 p.m. on a Friday night, but you hit me back the next day at 1 p.m.? What's going on? Oh, it's just a label. It's just a label until you try to hold him accountable. Then he lets you know the absence of that label doesn't give you power to say anything to him. Ain't it funny how the label don't matter until it's time for him to leverage that to avoid any type of responsibility of reciprocity or accountability? The label don't matter, but he will go through hell and high water to avoid it. We don't need a label. We don't need marriage. Marriage is a piece of paper. That's one hell of a piece of paper you avoiding. You ain't avoiding that paper on your desk. You ain't avoiding that. You ain't avoiding condoms. You ain't avoiding none of that stuff. You just a piece of paper now. Just interesting. Just. No, it's some power to it. But the avoidant will use every excuse in the book to get around anything that's going to make it tangible what he's supposed to be doing. He wants it to be at his whim. He wants it to be up to his emotions. He wants it to be contingent on how much you're doing for him to chase that carrot he keeps on dangling in front of you of maybe one day I'll be ready. Now, like I said, I really, really, really want you guys to be aware of the false hope cycle, because this is one of the primary weapons of a commitment phobe. They cannot string you along without something to string you along with. They cannot hold anything in front of you, anything of it, without something to string you along with. Now, before you really get into this, I want to let you guys know the power of awareness around this and also applying the strategies. Now, it's kind of hard. First off, I know this is kind of lengthy, so I'll sum it up for you. This was actually a sister I reached out to. She was on one of my Instagram live chats, and she had said some things on there. Even though when I'm going live, like even now I can kind of see the chat, it moves kind of quick, but I caught hers and I reached out to her. And I asked her how she was doing because she said some concerning things about her mental and emotional state. Matter of fact, I am going to go ahead and read it because this is, I introduced her to the false hope cycle, but I'm going to tell y'all where she was at. And she was like a lot of you, or at least where a lot of you have been. Her name was Darcy. And she said, Derek, I'm literally crying as I type this. 5 years, 5 years. I've been hanging on his every word, waiting for him to finally choose me. He said he's not ready for a relationship, but keeps coming back every time I try to move on. Last night, I saw him at a restaurant with another woman, but when I texted him about it, he said I was imagining things and that I'm acting crazy. My heart physically hurts. I don't know how many of y'all have ever had your heart broken, but yes, there's a such thing as your heart physically hurting, physically sending pain through your body. She said the worst part is we act like a couple behind closed doors. He tells me I'm the only one who gets him. He calls me a soulmate. He says no one makes him feel the way I do. But he won't even acknowledge me in public, won't post me, won't even save my pictures on his phone. When I bring up commitment, he says I'm pressuring him and that I should just enjoy what we have. I feel like I'm losing my mind. She goes on to say, I've spent every birthday, holiday, and weekend for the past 5 years either waiting for his text or crying because he's ghosted me again. My friends have stopped inviting me out because I always cancel in case he might call. I've turned down amazing job opportunities in other cities because he says we're building towards something. But what are we? I can barely recognize myself in the mirror anymore. And so, again, I know this is a world where nobody's ever made decisions to be in this kind of situation. You know, we're all so smart and got it all together. That could never be us. It's never been me. I've never, on no level, let no man string me along. But for those of y'all willing to keep it real with yourself, most of us have been there. And so it broke my heart to see what she was dealing with. So I reached out to her. And I honestly just don't have the capacity to do this for everybody because there's millions of subscribers all over the place, right? But I did reach back out. I sent her a voice note. It was a little bit more convenient. And then I let her know, hey, if you want to deep dive so we can really turn this around, because it goes deeper than just letting her know what's going on, I offered her access to a few of my programs, but mainly I wanted to get her into my mentorship program, Self-Crown VIP, which she said was expensive. But I'm gonna tell y'all right now, I do this for free because my expensive work pays me well enough to do this for free. But hey, I can just teach you and tell you things, or I can literally hold your hand across the finish line. And so with her, she went ahead. She wanted me to hold her hand across the finish line. I checked back in. It was a couple of weeks later, maybe a month and a half later. And I said, hey, how's it going? She said, first off, just looking over those DMs from a few weeks ago is unbelievable. This same woman now, she said, I was so broken, but yes, I used what you taught me in the False Hope Cycle program during the weekly live coaching. I taught this live. It completely opened my eyes. 5 years of my life waiting for potential while my reality was nothing but crumbs. But look at me now. I haven't responded to his last 3 hey you text. And the best part, I don't even want to. I have 3 different men actively pursuing me, planning real dates, and openly expressing their intentions. No more decoding mixed signals or crying myself to sleep. I went from, this is my favorite part. She said, I went from begging for breadcrumbs to having a full buffet of options. Who knew life could feel this light? Thank you for helping me rediscover my crowd and step into my queen energy. Look, let me tell y'all something. When you choose you and you do the work and you get the guidance now, get the support, however you can get it, I'm just going to start you off, but however you could get it. Wherever you're at now, wherever they left you at, doesn't have to be where you remain. Where they left you at doesn't have to be where they can find you at later. But if you keep doing the same thing, you're going to keep getting the same results. Yeah, full buffet of options. Oh, I love that for her. And I love that for y'all. Same thing going to happen for y'all. Now, let's get into it. Again, this is really top level. This is something I already taught a deep dive on. And then there's strategies like, because everything has specifics. It's hard to address the generality for every specific situation, but let's do the best that we can here. So the false hope cycle, first off, look out for future talk without future action. Look out for whenever a man says something like, oh, we should go to Paris someday. All these grand things y'all should do one day. But he won't even commit to dinner next week. He won't commit to dinner on any particular tangible, measurable day. But hey, we should go to Paris one day, you know. Oh, man. That is the epitome of dangling that little carrot of what you want. And this is why I'm all for you saying what you want on the first, second date. I'm all for it. But also couple that with accountability to hold him to this standard of what's going to likely guide you towards that end goal. You know that you want marriage. Well, guess what? That means y'all got to be doing things that build the kind of foundation that can keep you strong in a marriage. Not jumping head first at 2 or 3 times of sex a day and not talking for days and weeks at a time. Like, we ain't doing that. Also, a man that can make plans months in advance, but always has an emergency when the day comes. Always got something that came up. He's sorry. It just happened like this. These are the men that will pacify you with some type of quote unquote plan, because they know a lot of women these days want plans, but they don't have any real intention of keeping it. They don't have any real value, first off, on your schedule, on your time. And then secondly, on the time they could have been spending with you. They have none. And so they spend all of that time of planning things or you knowing that there's something on the schedule. They spend all of that time. You're pacified. You're happy this is going to happen. So you're operating as normal. And then boom, when this happens, he makes it your responsibility to be so understanding of him playing in your face. Yes, this is future talk without future action. I call this future faking. Or a man that will talk about your future home, but won't introduce you to his friends, won't introduce you to his family, the ones that he care about. A man that discusses marriage and kids in theory, but gets anxious just being Facebook official. He want to have all of this here, marriage and stuff like that. But boy, he don't want the people online to know that he is off the market. And I'm talking about those who are off the market. I'm talking, you got to be at least a couple months in at minimum these days to even get a presentation on social media. I'm talking about y'all are so deep in, y'all are having raw intercourse. Y'all doing everything under the sun, but social media is where he draws a line. He posts everything else he got going on, but social media is where he draws a line. And be mindful of those that'll do that, but they'll do it specific to a certain platform. They'll post you on a platform they don't know nobody on. They'll post you on the platform they barely use. But that one that's popping, that Instagram, come on now. That page has got a lot of followers or more than normal, or it's got the people that he like on there. That we'll get into that another time. See, I go deep with my Self-Crown VIP because these are the specifics that can help you apply this. But nonetheless, or a man that talks about seeing a future with you, but he's still exploring a future with other people. Now, if y'all just in the talking stage, y'all just got together the first, couple of days, a week maybe. I'm not talking about that. But when a man knows these are the statements you want to hear, be very mindful if any actions actually align with any of these things. Now, another part of the false hope cycle is the intense connection that suddenly cools off. So this is more kind of like the intermittent ghosting, but it's more so intermittent withdrawal. Monday, he could be texting you, good morning, beautiful, and he on it. Tuesday, text you the same thing. Wednesday, all of a sudden, he needs 6 hours to reply. He goes, oh, sorry, I've been swamped. I didn't see your message. I didn't know that you texted me. My goldfish died. He got all these different excuses. Then on Friday, leaves your Instagram comment on red, or your Instagram DM on red, rather. You hit him up, and he saw it, but oh man, I was driving and my phone dropped down in the seats. Y'all done heard all the excuses. And then after he's executed his real plans for the weekend, he popped right back up on Saturday. Hey, you, miss you. You all right? Just checking in. 6, 7 messages of yours that went unreplied to, if you even went that hard. And then Sunday, he starts it back all over again, because now it's confirmed that you can maintain attraction to this man even if he's not nurturing that connection, which is a problem. This is one of the things I teach when it comes to the false hope cycle. This is so major. I hope y'all are paying attention, taking some kind of notes. Ashley said he be on some BS. Oh, Toby, yep, you were that self-crown VIP. But these are the manipulative tactics a man will use. Also, watch out for convenience-based availability. So he will be available. And the time that y'all spend will feel good. It will be great, actually. You guys will connect. He'll make you laugh. He'll do all of that stuff. But you notice something after a while. He's only available after 10 p.m. on weekdays or any particular day. He's only available in this small little window. And we're not talking about work. We're not talking about that. But his messages are very short or very few and far between outside of like after 10 p.m. The moment whenever he gets horny, you start noticing that. Or he cancels plans if anything better comes up. Anything. I don't care if the game is coming on, somebody's in town, but you just notice he does a lot of canceling. You don't even know if you're going to get ready until about 30 minutes prior to a date, because he done canceled so much, you done got ready for no reason. I know I'm stepping on some toes. Or he makes last minute plans expecting you to be free every single time. Maybe even passively aggressively retaliates if you're not. Or he never commits to holiday plans more than 24 hours in advance, meaning you are a default, you are a fallback. Let's keep it all the way real. And anytime you ask him about actually spending time, it's always, yeah, I might be, I should be, we'll see. Let's play it by ear. It's not him saying, I want to definitively let you know I'm free on this time, I'm free on this day. Can you make it? You're sitting there propositioning dates or time to spend or quality time, or when y'all can talk. Yeah, I might be. You're always leaving himself a way out. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Convenience-based availability. When is it going to serve him? When is he going to have a chance to have sex with you? When is he broke and needs some money? Let's keep it real. A lot of men are not out here pampering women anymore. Those days, they're gone for most men. Not true providers, but most men. These days, men be looking for a come up with y'all. What? And like I said, the hot and cold behavior patterns. Very, very affectionate behind closed doors. Again, especially whenever he's horny and he wants something from you. Maybe he's hungry. Maybe he needs a place to stay. But as soon as y'all get in public, there's no PDA. And I'm not talking about intense PDA. Most people don't love super, super tongue kisses with somebody, just at the post office. All right, cool. But we talking about when y'all get around certain groups out in public, you wouldn't know y'all was more than just homies. But behind closed doors, the affectionate names, the affectionate little touches, all of that stuff. Hot and cold, deeply vulnerable one day, emotionally unavailable the next. He wants to tell you about his dreams, his mama, his future children. He wants to share all these different things, but then the next day, you seem like you get a completely different version of him. He's just shut down. And maybe days at a time, maybe weeks at a time. The moment that y'all start getting some momentum, you notice he pulls away. And he's all focused into work. He barely responds. Hot and cold. Okay? Hot and cold. This dysregulates your central nervous system. This propositions him as a solution to such, since whenever you guys are high, and your central nervous system is on this roller coaster, whenever you guys are high, it feels so good, you don't want to get off. And if it could just stay high, you'll be fine with that. Yes, you've been on the emotional roller coaster of somebody who has hot and cold behavior patterns as a part of the false hope cycle. Also, the man makes grand gestures and then again disappears for days. Let's do this, let's do that. So you're left hanging and thinking, well, let me not mess it up by overthinking. Let me not mess this up by hounding him or pressing him about this, because he sounded like he was really excited to take me here and go there and do this. So maybe something really bad came up and I just need to wait. And then whenever he comes with his excuse, you feel more pressure to just accept it because, man, it sounded really exciting what he wanted to do. Hot and cold behavior patterns. Claims he's all in during the good times, but the moment that y'all have any type of conflict, the moment that he's offended by something you said, the moment you tell him no, all of a sudden he pulls back and he needs space. Or maybe y'all already at the point where y'all are getting physically intimate, and that's good. Matter of fact, it's great. But he emotionally withdraws because he's scared, and he's scared of love, and he's just not trying to go there with you right now, and this, that, and the other. Y'all know what I'm talking about. It's so hard to predict the next move of these men. But when a man is genuinely interested, you don't need a detective degree to try to find out where you stand. You'll be too busy being loved properly to even think about analyzing all his behaviors. When a man truly loves you, any analytics are going to go to how you can love him even more, how you guys can go to the next level. Not how to get the bare minimum basic standards and requirements met on a consistent basis. Y'all hear me what I'm saying? Y'all picking up what I'm putting down? Now, the forward progressive step for you begins with boundaries. Again, this goes deep. It's no way I can hold your hand through exactly what the false hope cycle might look like for you and exactly how you can approach that. Because again, I got a deep dive with you. I do that with my mentees rather, and through my programs. But I can tell you this is a great starting point. Get you some boundaries. Here's some scripts for your boundaries. Hey, I don't do last minute plans, and stick to it. Understand the framework of everything I'm going to say to you right here, because it's the heart posture, not the wording. Whenever you let a man know that you don't do last minute plans, you're setting a time boundary, a boundary around your schedule. You're establishing an understanding around your time and the value you put on it, and you're letting him know he better match you there at minimum, or he better get on. And so that means whenever he's trying to jump up and do something and he ain't told you, made no plans or nothing like that, hey, look, I actually know that's not, I'm not available for that. He tries to call you, you done called and texted him, and he wait 10 hours to reply, and then he does, like, no, I'm not replying either. You losing interest, now I'm not so sure I'm interested. Call it petty, call it whatever you like. But you teach people how to respect you and treat you. He clearly doesn't get the understanding, or he clearly didn't get raised on this, so you got to make it clear to him exactly where you stand on you. Like, you don't play about you. Here's another one. I need clarity on where this is going by month 3. Y'all be so afraid to state where you stand and assert these boundaries. But let me tell you something. You're never going to run off somebody who has the same vision as you. You're never going to run off somebody who has the same intentions as you. You meet somebody who want to make $1 million and you say, hey, I want to pay you $1 million within the next month. You're not going to run them off. They here to make $1 million. They here to get $1 million. Do you speak in their language? If you just want sex and you say, hey, look, I'm horny. I don't really want to waste your time. I really want to have sex tonight. You think that man's going to have a problem? You think you're going to run off the man who's horny and he ain't been getting none and he undressing you with his eyes? You tell me you think you're going to run him off? No. You're not going to scare a man who wants what you want. You're only going to have those who don't want what you want weed themselves out. Another boundary. My time is valuable. I need 24 hours in advance as a cancellation. I need that. I need at least a day notice. And if it doesn't happen like that, just stop making plans with me. Honor the effort and the energy that I invest to not only getting ready and looking nice and feeling nice, all those things, but reserving energy to invest in that outing with you. Respect that. Respect how I might shift my schedule around. Respect that. And so canceling on me last minute is unacceptable. Things come up, but outside of a literal emergency, somebody died, okay? I need 24 hours notice for cancellations. Yes, this is a great boundary to set. Or letting him know you don't date multiple people beyond the first month. He can do whatever he wants to do, just not with you. Again, stop being scared to let a man know that you require a certain amount of focus and intention if he's going to continue past a certain point with you. You're not telling him he better marry you, he better be in a relationship. You're saying, this is how I roll. You can roll with that or not. And let him choose his fate. Another boundary you can set: I expect consistent communication. Or I move on. I expect consistent communication, or I move on. And let him know exactly what consistent looks like for you. It ain't going to look the same for everybody. So what does consistent communication look like for you? And let him know. That means, if it's not beyond 9 o'clock where we might be asleep, I expect a reply within the hour, or advance notice that you're not going to be available. You're not going to be by your phone because of work or whatever. Like, I do expect that. If I can't get that, then I'm sorry. This just isn't safe for me. And safety is a prerequisite for what I like to invest in a real relationship. I just can't go forward if you cannot consistently communicate with me. Days at a time is unacceptable. Honestly, y'all, if a man goes 24 hours or more without communicating with you, he really just don't like you like that. Just keep it all the way real. And before we finish up here, man, is this even helpful? If so, type yes down in the chat. Is this helpful to you guys? Type yes down in the chat if this is even helpful. I want to know, am I reaching anybody? Crystal, you got questions? I got answers. Save them for the Q&A at the end. Save them for the Q&A at the end. We're doing the Q&A at the end. Watch through to the end. I'm going to take all questions. I got your back. Okay, this is helpful. Glad. Because we're pretty much finishing up, but I want to get into the mindset shifts. I said I was going to tell y'all the mindset shifts you need in order to change everything, okay? These are the 3 mindset shifts that you need to change everything. These are actually the beginner mindset. These are the mindsets people start with. The first one is, it's too late, I'm too damaged, there are no good men left. That mindset, matter of fact, let's just go ahead and go into it. Because I've gotten thousands. Y'all, I've been doing this since 2011. It's just now 2025, 14 years. 14 years. Thousands of testimonials have come in just like this woman. She emailed me. I can't even remember how long ago this was. I don't know it was within the last year, though. But she said, from rock bottom to rock on my finger. Okay. She sent me an email saying, hey, remember me? The girl who couldn't stop texting her ex and was convinced she'd never trust again? Well, look at me now. Your self-closure course was the wake-up call I needed. The journaling prompts in Module 1 helped me see all the red flags I'd been colorblind to. But it was the weekly self-crowned VIP live chats that really transformed me. That time you called me out with love for making excuses for toxic behavior. Thank you for that tough love. Thank you for the upgrade to Secrets to Attract marriage-minded men program that was pure gold. Your advice about being clear about my intentions from the start led me to an amazing man. His name is David, and he proposed last weekend. Of course, because David ain't asked to be on here. She says, I felt like I tried everything already. So yeah, I was hesitant at first to spend so much money, but now I wish I'd done it sooner. It was worth every dime of the $14.97 you charged, and maybe you should charge more. LOL. You helped me break my pattern of attracting emotionally unavailable men. And now I have the kind of love I used to think only existed in movies. Sending you so much love, Jessica. Actually, I do remember her. I do remember Jessica. But this young lady, and I remember her. I actually do remember her, man. She used to beat herself up a lot. She felt like it was that lover's remorse. I've done this. I've done that. I was so stupid. I was so this. I can never trust another man. That was her way of trying to stay safe because she no longer trusted herself first and foremost. But she had that mindset shift. Now, it took some work. Again, my programs are deep dives, my mentorship every single week. This stuff, I mean, I go in on it every single week. I hold people's hands across the finish line. But ultimately, however you go about getting this mindset shift, you have to shift into, if it can happen for anyone, it can happen for me. If it can happen for anyone, it can happen for me. It's not too late. You're not too damaged. It's not that there are no good men left. There are men left. There are people getting married every single day. And if it can happen for anyone, it can happen for you. Give you another example. And this sister was 52 years old. And I remember her thinking that she was too old. She was too old. No. She said, hey, Derek, they say timing is everything. And finding your videos when I did was divine timing indeed. After 25 years of marriage ended in betrayal, I thought my chance at love was over. I was so wrong. The self-closure course, she got that one too, was exactly what I needed to process my divorce. The forgiveness framework in Module 5 helped me release the bitterness that was holding me back. Your weekly Self-Crown VIP live chats became my favorite part of the week. The sisterhood we built is incredible. Can I be honest? When I started Secrets to Attract Marriage-Minded Men, I was skeptical, but the Mature Love Blueprint modules led me to Robert, a wonderful widower who makes me feel like I'm in my 20s again. Shout out to Robert. She said, I got to admit the $1,200 plus investment was a stretch for me post-divorce, which now it actually is more, but it was the best decision I could have made. You helped me see that it's never too late for a second chance at love. With gratitude, Patricia. And y'all, even though I'm grateful, y'all. It's a blessing to have something that has so consistently changed the lives of people. But if I'm being real, I didn't necessarily change the life of Patricia, Jessica, or anybody. They made the mindset shift. For you to even be watching here right now, you're already on the right track. But if you have any thought of YouTube damage, it can't happen for you, it's too late. No, if it can happen for anyone, it can happen for you. Okay, these are the programs that they reference, by the way. Secrets to Attracting Marriage-Minded Men Fast for $12.97 by itself, and the self-closure shortcut is $14.97. They discuss how to reset your heart after it's been broken, how to stop all thoughts of your ex. It includes the emotional needs of marriage-minded men and how emotionally intelligent men need to be loved. For those that are inquiring, I'll give you guys a link. So you want to get my programs, you can. But if not, look, the main thing I need you to take away is that the mindset shift is so crucial. Okay? Thoughts become actions. Actions become patterns. Patterns become your destiny. The mindset shift from it's too late, I'm too damaged, there are no good men, I don't want to hear that no more. The truth is, if it can happen for anyone, it can happen for you. Now, the second mindset we need to shift out of is that dating shouldn't be this complex. Dating shouldn't be this complex. I hear that all the time. Derek, it shouldn't be like this. It shouldn't be so hard. We need to learn these things, and we need to get this and get that. Let me just say this. I think it's very interesting to get your pilot's license, to get your driver's license, to get a degree to do surgery or a degree to do anything, accounting. You got to go through schooling. You got to get somebody to teach you, right? You got to learn. You got to put some effort for it. You have to develop competence. You have to. So why is it that when it comes to handing somebody the keys to our heart, our mental health, our physical health, our children, our families, everything we know and love, we say it should just be automatic. Take no effort. Y'all, that's just not how the world works. And we can't live in a world of what should and shouldn't be. We have to live in a world as it is. But the truth is, if there's a wrong way, there is a right way. Don't get caught up in the complexities. It's only complex until you figure it out, until you have somebody that can simplify it. Like Cheryl. Okay? Cheryl said, finally experiencing love at 57. At 57, I thought I was too old to start over. After 30 years of marriage, my ex's emotional abuse had left me feeling like an empty shell. But your programs didn't just help me heal, they helped me bloom. The compatibility index, that's one of my programs, has to be my favorite. It was revolutionary, learning about emotional safety indicators. I discussed that in Module 1. Help me understand why my marriage failed and how to ensure it never happened again. When you taught us to look for patterns over potential, everything clicked. The Selfish Season Challenge gave me permission to put myself first for the first time in my life. Those weekly mindset exercises and healing meditations brought back the joyful woman I used to be. Now I'm in a relationship that makes me feel young and cherished every day. Gerald, that's his name. Shout out to Gerald. See, I love these brothers that are proving that men who want what you want do exist. Let's get back to it. Gerald calls me his queen and proves it with his actions. I was skeptical at first to spend nearly $2,000 on these resources, but I realized now it wasn't just an investment in finding love. It was an investment in reclaiming my life. Now I wish I had spent it sooner. With love and appreciation, Cheryl. And you know, I notice a lot of people do get hung up on the prices. I don't care. I'm gonna just keep it real with you. I do, but I don't. I do, but I don't. Why? Because if somebody said your changed life, true love for you is on the other side of you getting over the fear of investment, because that's all it is fear. We'll go buy a car for $40,000, $20,000. We'll spend $1,500 throughout the month on going out to eat. We don't have fear with those things, but when it comes to safeguarding our heart, when it comes to our mental health, when it comes to connecting to the love of our life, the most important decision we'll ever make in our life, then we let the fear come in and keep us in the same toxic patterns, receiving the same mistreatment. Ain't it crazy how that goes? Ain't it crazy? But this is why I do the free master classes, so I can still give out value to everybody else. But look, if there's a wrong way, there's a right way. Don't think it's so complex. You just got to have it just happen all together. You know, this jumbo jet capable of flying 10,000 miles just has to assemble on its own from parts that fall out of the sky. That's what a healthy relationship is. It's something that takes work. You got to have some intention. But look, if there's a wrong way to do it, if there's a wrong way to date, there's a right way to do that. Jennifer understood this. She hit me up and said, once a last resort, now a first choice. Shout out to Jennifer. I love these types. Jennifer said, I don't know if you remember me, but I was that woman who thought being 39 and never married meant something was wrong with me, probably because the world tries to teach all that. After my last relationship ended with him telling me I was too independent, I nearly gave up. But your programs didn't just save my love life, they revolutionized and fast-tracked it into reality. The Emotional Needs Mastery Program became my dating Bible. The high-value communication framework from Module 4 completely transformed how I date. Gone are the days of watering myself down to make men comfortable. Now I attract men who are excited by my success. Probably the most valuable to my journey has been the weekly Self-Crown VIP live chat. She just goes on to say the exercises that she loved. Now I'm with a man who matches my energy and ambition. He proposed last week saying my interdependence was what drew him to me. You taught me that. To be fully transparent, you are not cheap. Y'all gonna stop getting on my head. You are not cheap, but neither am I. I'd give any amount of money to have my heart healed and overflowing. So thank you for allowing me to invest into me. Eternally thankful, Jennifer. Shout out to Jennifer. Again, y'all, if there's a wrong way to do things, there's a right way. Riding a bike was complicated until we learned the right way. Cooking was complicated when you first tried it until you learned the right way. Okay? Now, what they're specifically referencing are the programs Secrets to Attracting Marriage-Minded Men Fast. I see y'all asking. The Self-Closure Shortcut and the Compatibility Index. That was for women specifically over the age of 40, because when you date over 40, you got a completely different set of experiences that you've had. And if you're dating men over 40, there's a different way you can evaluate them. Again, these are programs for a reason. Hours-long deep dive so you can truly understand and apply this to see results immediately. But in these programs, I give you the questions to ask to assess a man's maturity level on day one. Again, I'm not about wasting no time. Also, how to decode a man's dating history despite what he believes. Because a lot of men will convince themselves of something that don't line up with their truth. But the mindset shift is the most important thing. From dating shouldn't be this complex to the truth. If there's a wrong way, there's a right way. If you come into agreement with these first two, first, if it can happen for anyone, it can happen for me. Put agree. Put agree. If you come into agreement right now, there's power in agreement that if it can happen for anyone, it can happen for me. Put agree. I know that's scary for some of y'all to affirm. Ooh, that's scary. I felt the fear from here. But if you agree, just the mindset shift, just put everything else contrary to it. It ain't about what program you can invest in. It ain't about what book. It ain't about none of that. Right now, if you just affirm and agree that if it can happen for anyone, at any age, at any size, with any baby daddy count, with any whatever, it can happen for me. Okay, I'm getting what I thought I would get. I'm with the right people. If you agree that if there's a wrong way, there's got to be a right way. It's literally impossible for there to be one side to a coin. Every coin has a flip side. So if there's a way to keep attracting the wrong men, to keep ending up with your time wasted, if there's a wrong way, there's got to be a right way. There's got to be. If that even makes sense to you, put agree. Put agree. If there are people out here ending up with exactly what you want and you know that you deserve, there's got to be a right way to do this. There's got to be. It's happening over and over and over and over again. Okay, so I'm with the right people. I'm with the right people. Now, the third mindset we need to shift is that no one understands. So I don't have any help. Nobody can relate to me. Nobody knows what it's like to be me. Nobody knows and nobody cares. Nobody's here to support me when I'm not okay, when I'm getting my time wasted, when I'm getting disrespected. Nobody truly understands. So I don't have any help. I'm by myself. I ain't got nobody but me. I've always only had me. I'm the strong friend for everybody else, but nobody's there when I need them. We got to shift out of that, sis. The truth is your tribe exists and you deserve to be supported. Your tribe exists and you deserve to be supported. I got this from a sister named Maria, okay? She said, from broken to blessed at 45. As I sit here, good afternoon, Derek, as I sit here in the arms of the most incredible man I've ever known, tears of joy stream down my face, remembering where I was just 8 months ago. After my devastating divorce at 45, I truly believed I was damaged goods and too old to start over. The compatibility index changed everything, especially module 3 about mature man markers. When you taught us to identify emotional intelligence in the first few dates, it was like having night vision goggles in the dating world. Although I'm now in the healthiest relationship of my life, the weekly self-crowned VIP live chats are still my sanctuary. The daily journal prompts have continuously helped me to rediscover the vibrant woman I was before my ex dimmed my light. Now approaching 46, I'm engaged to a man who celebrates my age as wisdom, who sees my past as strength, not baggage. The $1,600 investment seemed huge at the time, but I would have paid triple for this kind of transformation. I've gone from crying myself to sleep to being cherished beyond my wildest dreams and being put to sleep by the man I'm going to spend my life with. Forever grateful, Maria. And shout out to, I don't know if we got his name. Shout out to the man putting Maria to sleep every night. Forever grateful, Maria. Please keep up the great work. Shout out to Maria. That right there almost made me emotional. That almost made me emotional. Because the truth is, you may feel alone when you're going through it, and you are alone in your thoughts with nobody to talk to, nobody you've established. But you know what? Even the Bible says that in the presence of counsel, we stand strong, and without it, we fall. Like, we are social beings. Anything that you want to do, you're going to need social support. It's like if you've ever been in, some of y'all may know this, but if you've ever run into somebody that could ruin your day, just with their messed up energy, which is where you got to get away from them, you know somebody's energy can impact you, right? But guess what? The same thing goes for whenever you run into a person that can turn your whole day around. They just see the positive in things. They're so empowering. They're so positive. They're so light. The eyes are bright. Put eye down in the chat if you've ever run into one of those men or women. Like, it could be an elder. It could just be somebody who just got some fire in them. They just got a light about them. And by being near them, you feel better. Just being in their presence 10 to 15 minutes. It might be the Walmart greeter. It might be a person on the phone that's answering for customer service. Turn your whole day around. Put eye down in the chat if you ever met one of those people. I think they're like angels personally. Now imagine not just a person, but an entire tribe of those types of people, where on your worst days, where you feel isolated and nobody understands you, ain't got nobody, that you can get around and pull from their good energy to pull you up. You're not pulling them down. The candle that lights the other candle don't lose its fire. Don't lose its fire. Now this another one that's a little lengthy, so I'm gonna try to summarize here. But I love what this sister hit me up on. This is through DM, by the way, because she hit me up and said, Derek, this on the left is before. She said, Derek, I hope you see this. I'm literally shaking writing this. She was messed up. She said, I've been following your content and I'm desperate. My boyfriend of 2 years keeps disappearing every weekend. saying he's with the boys, but I saw lipstick on his collar when I tried last week. When I tried to talk to him about it, he called me crazy and paranoid. I can't eat or sleep anymore. He used to be so different. Okay. And she just went on to basically say all of this. And he likes to keep his life private. Therefore, he won't post on social media. He's archived all of his photos, but he posts everything else. And now she feels like she's going crazy. Again, these types of things stop me in my tracks because I know what it's like when you're in that space and you're in such a bad space. You reach out to a complete stranger and a guy that seems to understand, but you're just hoping you can get some answers. And honestly, y'all, again, I am not available, and it's not by choice. It's literal. I'm one person to millions of people. But thankfully, by this time, I had created my mentorship group where I'm not one to millions. I have a very tight-knit group I can actually help and I can actually answer questions for. So I basically gave her a little bit of advice, very top level, just a little encouragement. And then I sent her a link so she can join Self Crown VIP along with a couple other programs. She picked whatever she wanted to out of that. And y'all, she hit me up a few months later on the right. These are on the right, because I hit her up like, yo, you still there? I don't always know the names of everybody, but I said, hey, any update? She said, I can't believe it's been 3 months. Derek, I can't believe it's been 3 months since those desperate DMs I sent you. Your dating as an empath program literally saved my life. That module about energetic boundaries finally helped me understand why I kept getting drained in relationships. When you explain how empaths tend to excuse toxic behavior because we feel everyone's emotions so deeply, that hit me hard. I finally blocked him everywhere last month, and it feels like I can breathe again. The relief is indescribable. Then she goes on to say the Self Crown VIP live chats have become her Thursday night therapy. Now, this is back when we had them on Thursdays. We now have them on Tuesdays, but nonetheless, when you called me last week and helped me recognize my own worth, I literally cried. The other queens in the group are so supportive too. Remember when I was afraid I'd never find someone else? Well, now I'm actually having to manage multiple coffee dates with men who are actually consistent and kind. I had no idea dating could feel this light and fun. One guy even asked my love language on our first date. I almost fell out of my chair. I went from begging for breadcrumbs to having a full feast of options. There's a lot of y'all over here feasting and buffeting and everything else. You were right. The moment I chose myself, everything changed. Forever grateful for helping me find my power again. Y'all, your tribe exists. Your tribe exists. It's not me. Yes, I can create the programs. I can create the community. I can create all of these things. But it's just like, you can throw a life jacket out to somebody. You can't make them grab hold of it. God can. Matter of fact, y'all just think about you trying to love a man who ain't ready to receive it. You can offer love to a man if he's not ready to receive it. If he's not ready to recognize it, it can't do him no good. Now, all of these programs that they're referencing that help them get these 3 mindset shifts, if it can happen for anyone, it can happen for me. If there's a wrong way, there's got to be a right way. My tribe exists and I deserve to be reported. I deserve to be supported. These are the ones I already told you guys about them. But the Self Crown VIP, that's $564 per year. Matter of fact, let me go ahead and get the link. That's a private community of like-minded women plus weekly relationship coaching by me. A lot of y'all have asked me, Derek, how can I get your coaching? Well, one-on-one is quite expensive. It's actually almost that for an hour. But I do live group coaching every single week with my Self Crown VIP. Now, here's the thing. I'm about to post a link for y'all so you guys can get access. But the truth is, not everybody has $2,000, even if they know that they're worth it. They're worth the investment, right? You're willing to invest. You know you're worth it. It's not a matter of that. It's just $2,000 is a lot right now. And maybe you'll have it in the future. So here's what I want to do. Here's what I want to do, because this is thousands of dollars worth of programs, worth every penny or not, over $4,000, even for the sake of having somebody that can love you the way that you deserve, that can make you wonder how you ever tolerated anything less, even having somebody who put a smile on your face and fill your heart more than what you ever thought it could be full. That's a lot. So I'm going to do something for 15 people. 15 people, because again, I keep Self Crown VIP very tight-knit. I'm going to allow you guys to get access to all of these programs, including Self-Crown VIP, private community, for an entire year for just $297. That's a one-time payment, okay? One-time payment. Let me put this here. And when I put it here, do not procrastinate, because the last time I did this, it got filled up, honestly, within like 30 minutes. 15 spots left. I'm putting it in the chat now. 15 spots left to get in and get all of those programs for just $297. I know that sounds crazy, because it's like, hold on, man. This is pennies on the dollar for all of those programs. Yes. But that's the only catch. It's only going to be for 15 people. It can't be for everybody, because I really don't need the group to get so big anyway. That's how I'm able to do this. What we just did, I do that every single week with Self-Crown VIP. What we just went through, yeah, I do this every single week. Some of my Self-Crown VIP in here, you guys can vouch for it. I do this every single week with my VIP group. Let me put this here. For the next 15 people only, okay? And we're going to do Q&A in just a moment. I just want to make sure that you guys have access to this. This is the all access VIP. Other people have paid over $4,000 for this. You don't have to do that. You don't have to do that. If you know that you deserve more than what you've been getting, if you know that you're ready to take action and take action now, not later, if you know that and you want to show it with your action, here's your opportunity. Here's your opportunity. Again, secrets to attracting marriage-minded men fast. Self-closure shortcut. Compatibility index for women who are dating over the age of 40 and dating men who are over the age of 40 in the Self-Crown VIP private community. That's $564 per year, and you'll get all of these for just $297. Now, I know a lot of you guys are scared. A lot of you guys, again, I said I was going to challenge you. I said I was going to challenge you. And I wanted to make it a no-brainer. Matter of fact, let's not even start there. I wanted to make it a no-brainer for you to choose you. And the only thing standing between you is your familiarity and your addiction to it, and then your conviction to do something different. And in order to get something different, you know that you have to do something different. I'm going to go crazy with this. I'm going to add a free bonus. I said a free bonus. Here's a free bonus. Every ebook, every audiobook, every program I've ever created. Y'all, this is over 100 hours of content. Well over $13,797. Over 100 hours of content, every program. I want to say to date, I've made about 40 something programs. Don't quote me on that, because there's modules in between each one and all that good stuff. But here are just some of the topics discussed. Yes, right now, those are asking. Yes, that's all for $297. Y'all, these are just some of the topics. This is so much more discussed, but how to attract a mature man who's not looking for 20-somethings. How to stand out to quality men who aren't just swiping photos. That's for those of y'all who have any type of online dating profiles, because online dating can be tough. Online dating can be tough, but it doesn't have to be. How to find a devoted partner who's not afraid of commitment. That's a build on what we just talked about, but a much deeper dive. How to attract a strong man who's not stuck in old school thinking. Those men who think you're supposed to be barefoot and pregnant all the time and just hush when a man is talking. There's a way to attract a man who is strong and has a traditional base to his values without attracting that. How to find an intellectual who's not emotionally clueless. For those of y'all who ever dealt with a man and he had everything down. He had all of these book smarts. He had all of that, but when it came to emotional intelligence, he didn't have it. Yes, I'm going to do Q&A in just a moment, so hang tight. Hang tight. Hang tight. Also, how to attract a highly desired man who's not infatuated with options. Okay, y'all be scared to date a man who's attractive, who got himself together, who got a little money, because you're thinking he just gonna. No, there are men out here who are not infatuated with having options. They can make a choice. And those are just some of them, okay? Those are some of them. How to attract an available man who's not carrying past relationship trauma. Because a lot of men like to get in relationships, but they ain't over their ex. These are just some of the topics that are covered. How to find a patient man who's not obsessed with instant chemistry. For these dudes that want to make you theirs tomorrow, but the same way they want to get in quick, they want to get out quick. There's a difference between a man who is rushing and a man who is intentional. How to attract a quality man who's not threatened by strong women. He's not threatened. He's not trying to minimize, because a lot of y'all, you have so much strength. You've overcome so much, and you think, oh, I got to change that to be soft. No, you can be both soft and strong. There is a such thing as both soft and strong. A quality man who understands that is not going to be threatened. And so, yes, in these programs, there's so many. And I mean, some of this is covered in my book. Y'all ain't even seen this book. A lot of y'all have not seen this book. From Heartache to Happiness. There's 60 chapters in here. Just in this book, you're getting every book. My Don't Forget Your Crown book. Every book, every audio book included as a bonus. Today now, only for the next 15 people. How to find your ready partner who's not still, quote unquote, working on himself. Sometimes you get a man and you say, hey, I love you. I love your character. I love what you present. Oh, I'm just not ready. I still got work to do. Okay, cool. Nothing's wrong with continuing to work on yourself, but not to a point where you stall out what could be something beautiful because you haven't even done the work you're supposed to do. These are the topics covered in my programs. We'll be here all day if I told you literally all of them, but how to find an evolved man who's not emotionally immature. We're not talking about just intellect here. We're talking about development. Does this make sense to you guys? Could you find any of this helpful? Y'all let me know. Y'all let me know. Now you can get this after it gets to 15 people, and I got to check in with my assistant. Matter of fact, let me get to my email, because it will fill up quickly. It will fill up quickly. But if you wait till tomorrow or the next day, it's going to go back to full price. It's going to go back to full price. So I don't want you to procrastinate. Every single program for less than the price of even one, along with the free bonus added. Today only, y'all. This is not going to be whenever you go back to get the All Access VIP Pass. It's only going to come with those programs right here on the left and 1 year of Cell Crown VIP. That's all it's going to come with. Today you can get those, but with the bonus of every book, every audio book, and every program I've ever created. Go from victim to victory. Toby, you got it right. You got it right. I just put the link. Some of y'all are looking for it. Again, you do not want to procrastinate. And I want to make it even easier for some of you, because I get it. $297, crazy discount. You see the value. You know that this would change your life, right? Or you at least know that you deserve the opportunity to see if it could. One, I'm going to add in my 30-day money-back guarantee. So if you're not blown away by my programs, and y'all, this is how confident I am, because it's not about money. Again, I get paid very well to do what I do. Okay. Only way that I mean anything is if your life changes. And so if I fail at doing that, and this is very rare, but it does happen. If I fail at doing that, you lose nothing. Literally, worst case scenario, you lose nothing. You email me. My email is all over the website. If you can't get to me there, I check my DMs. You email me and tell me, D, this didn't really do it for me. I want my money back. No questions asked. Here's your money back. And you'll be able to see that honestly within the first day, but I'll give you a whole month. And honestly, even after 30 days, I'll still honor it. So I want to make this a no-brainer. Now, the rest is on you. The rest is on you. I can tell you, I can provide you with the resources. I can provide you with Self Crown VIP community, a tribe of like-minded women. I can do all of that. But I cannot make you choose you. I cannot make you ditch the skepticism. I can't make you ditch the fear. But you do have two choices. You do have two choices. You can either say, hey, look, I'm just going to go back. I like the information. I know it now. I'm just going to go back to doing what I've been doing. hearing great information and then trial and erroring my way through this dating scene with my heart ready to get hurt. You can do that. There are people who do that. Or you can take the other path. Wow, this is something different. I may have bought a book here and there. I may have listened to a video here or there, but I've never truly given myself access to resources. What could I do with that type of access? Not just to the programs, but to a mentor for an entire year. What could I do with a tribe of like-minded women around me? What could I do with the ability to ask a man how a man thinks, what's on a man's mind, and to help me decode these things in real time? How much time could I save? How much trouble could I save and avoid if I have somebody like Derek to tell me year round, the entire year, don't go this way, go that way? I'm going to give myself this opportunity. There's nothing to lose. And the love that I've always known that I've deserved to gain. So expect to see. Again, I don't know how many. Matter of fact, let's see what my email says. There's actually 7 spots left. I need to change that number. There's 7 spots left. There's also a payment plan on there. If you want to do 2 payments, you want to split it up. Yes, it is a little bit more. So I highly, highly encourage you guys to take advantage of the one-time payment of $297. But if that's a lot and you want to do $197 to get started today, literally the programs are available right now. You can do 2 payments of $197. You get access that way. You can get access that way. You guys should see I don't know if you guys can see the offer, but I'm putting it in the chat as well because I don't want you guys to miss out. This will not be available. Somebody asked, well, can I get it tomorrow? Can I get it? No, you can't. I mean, you can, just not this deal. I just got to honor it because there are people who are making that scary leap of faith because they know that they deserve it today. I want to honor them. I want to honor the fast action takers who are making this decision and saying, you know, I deserve a chance to see what this could do for me. And I can only honor them if I do shut this down, or at least the price of just $297 or $197 to get started. I can only honor them by making sure this goes away whenever it gets to 15 people. Whenever it gets to 15 people. Oh, 30 days after the first one. I got the Q&A. We're doing the Q&A here in a couple. We're doing it here in a couple. 30 days after. So the first payment is today. The next 197 comes out 30 days later. Okay. And again, if it's something you're just not feeling, and you can let me know and you get that back, and there is no next one. Now let's get into some questions. You guys got questions? Let's see if I got answers. If you have a question, now is a great time to post it. Let me see. I'm gonna go into the Q&A tab. Let me go up. All right. So Helene, oh, you welcome, Amber, and welcome to. I'm seeing some of y'all. Yeah, I see some of y'all who got in. Welcome to those. Congratulations for getting in, because again, this thing fills up very quickly, very quickly. How do you prove from Helene? How do you prove a lack of accountability on his part when he all of a sudden blames you on all his life and family problems and proceeds to treat you like poop and starts trying to chat with other chicks because he uses the excuse of your reaction to his abuse? Oh, so first off, that's reactive abuse. Again, I talk about that with Self-Count VIP as well. Be very mindful of guys who will corner you or poke at you, and then whenever you finally say, I'm going to attack back, I'm not having it anymore, they claim they're a victim. Very careful of those types of guys. That is a manipulative tactic typically used by overt narcissists. Covert as well. All after calling you the best thing that ever happened to them, and being his clarity. Oh, and he uses you as a divide between him and his mommy issues with her and complains about her unwanted contact. So typically, if you have a grown man dealing with mommy issues, that's something that if you had never been born would still be a problem for him. If you were never born, he would still have mommy issues. So he just keeps on trading out excuses and scapegoats for what he refuses to deal with. So let me get back to you trying to prove a lack of accountability on his part. There ain't nothing for you to prove, Helene. There is nothing for you to prove. Now, what you do have to do is address the part of you that feels responsible for him not taking accountability. I know that sounds wild, right? No, there's a part of you that's continuing to try to find better words, find a better angle. And now what we want to do is we want to give him the responsibility of being a grown man that he was supposed to have in the first place. Before I even met you, he was a grown man, supposed to be grown. So you don't have anything to prove to nobody except to you that you deserve more. Make it clear where you stand. Make it clear that that's not your fault, whatever he's blaming on you. And then also make it clear what you need from him if he wants to go forward with you. Now you got to be willing to stand on it. And standing on something that honestly, even though it wasn't good for you, it became your familiar, it's not going to be easy. You got to be able to stand on it. Again, if you need help, the Self-Crown VIP community, I've seen help women, I mean, literally in real time. Women were in abusive relationships and they came into Self-Crown VIP. They cried, they bared their heart on the weekly live chats. That's where I do my coaching. That's where I get busy like I just did. I just answered your question. And that Self-Crown VIP has helped women find strength when they didn't have any of their own. So again, this is all up to you now. Helene, if you want to just go back and try your best, maybe you have an epiphany, you have an emotional high right now, and you just feel like you're going to ride that. But I'm going to tell you right now, from my experience, it doesn't go like that. When you leave here, and this goes for everybody, you're not going to have me in your corner rah-rahing you up. Not after this. This is the only time we're doing this. You're not going to have anybody. So you're going to go right back to your patterns. You're familiar. He's going to know how to play on those heartstrings. You need to tap into an additional power source to get you through that hard spot of finally breaking the toxic cycle. Kate says, can I ask how to see more clearly that a man is not emotionally available? I was in a committed relationship and then he left me unexpectedly. So Kate, there are different things that may factor into whether he's available or just not available to you or what have you. Again, there's so much to deep dive on. I would have to get specifics as to how this is showing up. He just left you unexpectedly. And so I'm going to give benefit of the doubt. He didn't tell you anything. You haven't done anything. He hasn't accused you of anything. And even if he did, that doesn't necessarily mean that you did something wrong, but he left you unexpectedly. So leaving you could mean that there's something you did do repeatedly, but if it's not that, more than likely there's something external he has shame around. Shame, basically meaning he knows that he's wrong, but he don't want you to know that he's wrong. He knows that he's not over that girl. He knows that he likes to have sex with multiple women, maybe men. Let's keep it all the way real. He knows that his money ain't right, and he hasn't dealt with this inferiority complex that's revolving around his inextricably linked worth to his money. So now that his money ain't right, he's just gonna back off. He knows that he's really hoping that you come running after him and you come trying to force him to open up to you, because then that soothes his abandonment wounds. Like, again, there's so much to go into with that. But exactly what you think it is exactly what it is. He is emotionally unavailable to you. You can't do nothing with that. Oh, hold on, wait. Looks like there are 2 slots left. Let me change this. 2 slots left to get into the Self-Crown VIP community, along with every single program I've ever created, my entire life's work. So let me put that again. Y'all, I just want to, and again, this is totally up to you. I don't want you to do anything, and I started the conversation with this, that you're not ready to do. Like, I understand, I can't force you, I can't make you, and I honestly don't want to. I've only ever had success with people who looked themselves in the mirror and said, enough is enough. What I've been doing ain't working. Enough is enough. I'm going to try something different. Enough is enough. I only want to work with people who have that kind of conviction stirred up. It's almost like, you only want to love a man who wants to be loved, right? You don't want to force your love on nobody. You don't want to do that. And I'm the same way. But it's not because of ego. It's simply because I know the heart posture to become one of those testimonials. I know the heart posture it takes. I know it's not easy getting to this point where you're broken and you reaching out to somebody or relying on a program to help you make your way through at 45 years old. I know it's not easy to feel like I should already know this. I can avoid the shame. I can avoid that because that's all it is. I know it's not easy whenever you have you feel like you're a last resort. to believe that you can now be somebody's first choice, somebody that you actually want. I know it's not easy. I know it's not easy in your 50s to feel like there's still a soulmate for you, like Patricia. And these women, by the way, paid way more than this. They don't hit me up mad. I know they're not, because they actually got the benefit. But these women paid $1,200, $1,500, $2,000 for the exact same programs, and actually a lot less that I'm giving you access to for just what, $297? Y'all, it's like a pair of shoes. I know it's not easy, and I don't want to minimize it. I get it. All I ever ask for is 1% of your trust, and I'll earn the other 99. That's why I'm giving my 30-day money-back guarantee. All I need is 1% of your trust. I'll earn the other 99. And if I don't, your money back. If I don't, your money back. Let me go back to the questions. Stephanie says, hold on, I lost it. Y'all in here. Who y'all in here? Hold on. Stephanie, I was on you, but I may have just lost it. So question from Kendra. I'm going to just move on. How do you get, oh my goodness, y'all are so fast. Joyce, yes, you still have access to the group. Oh my goodness, I'm gonna just copy and paste. Oh no, question from you put it private, so I'm not gonna say the name actually. Question from you. Oh my gosh, how do you get them out of your head once you stop contact? All right, cool. So thoughts are alive, okay? And when I've guided women to stopping thoughts of their ex for good, and by the way, the self-closure course will literally walk you through this process, and it don't take years to get to this point. So I'm gonna give you as much as I can here, but there's literally a step-by-step, day-by-day thing that you need to do in order to fully stop all thoughts. No contact is just a part of it. The thoughts are still coming because the triggers are still there. The neural pathways were formed whenever you remained in that relationship long beyond its expiration date. Neural pathways are essentially the brain highways to our habits. Literally, our brain changes shape. I know it sounds crazy. It's nothing spiritual about this, by the way. This is literal science. It's proven. Go Google it. Neural pathways shift in our brain. They change the shape of our brain based on what we repeatedly do over and over and over again. Your brain will literally shift. Neural pathways will form to ensure that the habit that you have becomes easier and easier to remain in. So if you were thinking about this man, including this man, considering this man, loving this man, guess what? The neural pathways have adopted to that. So in order to retrain your brain, in order to get new neural pathways, there's, again, a series of steps and new ways to build new habits. How you break those habits. So one thing that I guide a lot of my mentees through is the journaling, where you lay out exactly why you're leaving, exactly how he played in your face, exactly how he wasted your time. Why? Because the brain is going to look to stick to what it's used to, which is seeing the good in people. That's why he lasted so long. The reason why he lasted so long is because it's trained to see, well, maybe it's not so bad because, well, at least he does this. Well, at least he laughs at my jokes. At least he doesn't beat on me. At least he, whatever it is, whatever the good is. And so what you have to do now is counteract that and impose a different habit. And it's not so much about just seeing the bad in him. It's about seeing the other side of the truth that you've been ignoring for so long. After you go through the journaling, okay, and you meditate on that, every time you start feeling yourself weak, every time you start shifting into the stage of sadness, of grief, because grief has 5 to 7 stages depending on what you read. And again, this is why I'm saying this is all top level. I really, really go in on this in the self-closure shortcut. The self-closure shortcut. You don't have to wait for him to give you any type of closure. You don't have to go see no voodoo priest or anything like that. But you do have to do the work. So once you go through and you meditate on the other parts of his reality, the truth of why you need to leave, it's going to form new neural pathways that is going to stop the part where you think about this man over and over and over and over again. Because you're only thinking about him because your brain says, this good man needs to be loved more, needs to be, I need to be more patient. I need to continue considering him. And what I do with people that I see the good in and I love is I keep them close. That's what your brain has gotten used to doing. Now we're going to train our brain to put them in the category of everybody else that you don't know like you thought you did, or that don't mean you no good. And so now your focus is going to shift to everything else that exists. Okay? Joyce, if you have access, it depends what program you have, actually, because Self-Crown VIP doesn't come with literally everything, but you should have been getting emails a long time ago. But if you don't see it, let me put my email here. For those of you, some of y'all got a program in the past. Let me see here. Let me see. This is the email. I'm putting it right here. It's also, all of this is also on the website as well. My email's on the website, all of them. But Joyce, you asked a question. I got your back. You hit me up. I will personally see to it that you have access to the weekly coaching, because I don't want you to miss that. I don't want you to miss that. Yes, for those who are asking, the payment plan also applies. If you want to start with the payment plan, you can. 2 payments of $197. I think it comes like $370 something, $374. Don't quote me on that, actually. $370 something total. Or you can do the one-time payment, which takes off nearly $100 and be done with it. And there's one more spot left. Matter of fact, let me change that. There's one more spot left. Laura said, you thought it was free. Is absolutely. This right here is not free. All my programs, no, that's not free. But I'm going to can I keep it all the way real with you, Laura? I don't think this is what you're saying, but I do want to say it to anybody who says, I'm only doing what's free. I hope that you see yourself as worth more than that. If you'll spend $300 on hair, if you'll spend $300 or $400 on an outfit or on earrings or whatever, I hope that one day you get to a point, you ain't got to spend it with me. I appreciate you for even being here, but you don't have to spend it on me. And I'm not saying this from a place of spite. I just hope you get to a point where you say, no, I do invest in me. I'm worth that investment. My heart, my mental health, my emotional state, if that can increase that, I'm definitely all in. If your friend or somebody needed to borrow $500, you would look out for them in the moment. But if your heart needs that same investment, or actually a lot less, I would hope that you say, I'm worth it. If you want a man to invest in you outside of finances, by the way, energy, time, right? But you also want a man to invest finances at times, okay? You're worth that, right? I hope that you guys all get to a point where you say, I am worth it. Now, if it's just not there in the account, I'm not mad at you. I appreciate you. Again, you know, maybe next year I'll do something like this. It's going to be a while. It's going to be a while. But for those who are in any kind of position, maybe $297 sitting in your account feels a whole lot better than receiving the love of your life, than being in an emotionally safe relationship. I don't know, but you tell me. You tell me. Maybe it'd be better just spending on a dinner that'll come and go. I don't know. You tell me. But I just hope you guys imagine what it's like to, like these women were saying, to be in the arms of a man who truly loves and appreciates you. To be wrapped up in a man's arms who's putting you to sleep the right way every night, that you're going to spend the rest of your life with. What that would be like. What would that feel like? What would it feel like to have a tribe for you of like-minded women who are there to support you every step of the way when you get weak, on your good days, bad days, and you're never alone, like you never have to be alone again? What would it feel like to have a man that can match your energy, your ambition? A man proposing to you because he's not afraid of commitment. I want you guys to think about that for a moment. If you finally, after all the people pleasing, or maybe not people pleasing in a traditional sense, maybe you just always looked out for everybody else and you put yourself last, put yourself on the back burner. What if you finally gave yourself permission to put yourself first again? What if you got your joy back? What if, I know, what if this don't work? What if what you're already doing doesn't work? Again, you lose nothing if it doesn't. That's how confident I am. You're going to be one of these testimonials if you put in the work, by the way. But what if this becomes one of the best decisions you've ever made in your life? and you were so scared and so reluctant and so hesitant because you've never done it before, and nobody in your family has done it before, and but that's a generational curse of being afraid to invest in yourself. Investing in myself has been the best thing I've ever done. And again, we can say love is a word, self-love this, self-love that, but if you know, like I know, self-love is an action. Self-love is an action, just like love in a relationship. That man can say that he loves you, but when are you going to believe him? When he's willing to act on that, right? Same thing goes for you. You love you, you need to act on that. Maybe again, this may not be for you, but in some shape, form, or fashion, you leave here, I really, really, really want you to act on it. Now, this is the way I know I can personally support you and hold your hand across the finish line. This is my way of helping. These are my resources, but you can choose whatever you want to. I just really hope you leave here and you actually act on the information that I gave out today. Janie says, that was me at one point, putting myself last and everyone else first. Maureen says, I would have be put to sleep like Maria. You can have it. If you're willing to shift that mindset and get into a group and get a hold of resources that will support you in shifting that mindset, you can have it. Maureen says, journaling, writing everything down and read it from time to time to track your progress. Might realize with time, your journal entries become less angry or whatever emotion you are feeling and healing from. Maureen, what's going to happen is you're going to do what's called witnessing. As you journal, you're going to get into a space where you're witnessing your emotions. So witnessing is essentially whenever you can see what you're feeling, you can identify it, but you don't engage it. The healing aspect of witnessing your emotions is now when you feel bad things, you allow them to come and go, as opposed to defining your whole life and defining your character by it, or running after a man who feels like he's going to be able to pull you out of that, running after somebody hoping that they validate the good thing you want to believe, but not quite. You put the power back in your hands whenever you get to witnessing those negative emotions come and go. That's real healing. Yes, I should have put that in there, but yes, there's over 40 different programs. I'm trying to think what the one is called that deals with the masculine and feminine, and I think it's the Emotional Needs Mastery Program. So for those who are also interested in that, I'm looking for the last spot to be gone here because I know it's about to any second now. If you want more conversation on feminine and masculine energy, the Emotional Needs Mastery Program, it discusses the polarity, how it shows up for a man, how masculine shows up, and the feminine, because we both have feminine and masculine energy, and how the feminine expresses both masculine and feminine energy, and how the two combine in a dynamic that's healthy in a relationship. There needs to be polarity, though. Polarity meaning there needs to be one that's heavily skewed on feminine, one that's heavily skewed on masculine. Too much to get into in here. But absolutely, yes. You say you love the audiobooks? Oh, I got your back. Yes, every single audiobook. This has an audiobook from Heartache to Happiness. This is not on Amazon, by the way. Right now, it's not even on Amazon. But it's a part of the VIP pass today. It's a part of the VIP pass today. Can a man love you because of sex? No. He can get attached to you by way of sex, but he cannot love you because of sex. Love is something you have to nurture, develop, create. It takes intention. Sex is something you just have. You can get attached, though. You can absolutely get attached, but that would not be love at all. All right. So you love the Empath Masterclass? Oh yeah, Terry, I got you. I'm telling you. Look, I'm done. I've done all I can. Okay. Even God cannot bless you against your will. All right. And I'm nowhere near God, far from it. But all I can do is give you the gift that God gave me and then allow you to make the choice for you. My hope and prayer is that you do choose you from this day forward, no matter what you choose here. I'm pretty sure, I mean, if she hasn't, I don't see her updating me, but it's going to be, done anyway soon. So for those who missed out, I appreciate you showing up here on the masterclass. You chose you by even taking time out to watch this. Matter of fact, I'm going to see if there's a way I can open up a few more slots. For those that want to try to get a hold of this, because maybe you missed out by the end of tonight. And tonight, I'm not doing anymore. But leave here knowing that you're worth it and that you don't have to settle. You can start over as many times as you need to. People be afraid to start over in life. I'm on like my 4th life right now. You can make all the mistakes you need to make, start over as many times as you need to, but do not settle for less than what you know you deserve. Hopefully this was helpful to you guys. I would love to hear your feedback. Let me know. Did you get anything from this of value? If so, please, please, please do not be shy. Let me know. And with that being said, I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to get up out of here. I love you guys more than words can express, and there's literally nothing you can do about it. I'll see y'all in the next one. Peace.